You watch them sitting there in their favorite chair, and something just seems off.
Yeah, just a quiet shift.
Right. It is a quiet thing at first, like a word they cannot find during Sunday dinner,
Yeah.
or, a blank stare when you bump a memory from last week.
It is so hard to watch.
It really is. As an adult child looking at an aging parent, your heart just drops right into your stomach. You
Yeah.
see the sudden fog settling over someone who used to be so sharp. And the immediate thought, the fear that really grips you in the middle of the night is that this is the beginning of the end. We tell ourselves, well, they are getting older.
That is what everyone says.
Right. The brain just slows down. We just accept this fading as a normal, natural part of aging. But lately, I just cannot stop wondering, what if a huge part of this fog is not natural at all?
That is the big question, isn't it?
It is. Like, what if something sitting right there in their bathroom cabinet, something they take every single day just to feel normal, is actually pulling that fog over their mind?
That is a deeply painful moment for any family. And I know that fear very well. You are sitting there wondering where the person you love is going.
Exactly. You feel so helpless.
You do.
Yeah.
But what you just touched on is perhaps the most hidden truth about getting older. We live in a world that tells us every ache, every sneeze, every lost night of sleep needs a pull.
And we just believe it.
Right. So we take them, we trust them, we gather these little orange bottles over the years, and what no one talks about is how those daily habits, the very things we take to fix our bodies, might actually be clouding our minds.
It feels like such a trap.
It is. There's this deep, quiet tension in how we age today. We're trying so hard to stay healthy, but, well, we might be, by mistake, turning down the light in our own brains.
That is exactly the tension I am feeling. It feels like we are trying to put out small fires in the body, but creating a massive storm in the mind.
That is a perfect way to put it.
I look at my mother. She is in her late 70s, and she has a pill for her stomach, a pill for her joints, something to help her sleep, something to calm her bladder.
It adds up so quickly.
It really does. And when I ask questions, the answer is always, well, I have been taking this allergy pill for sleep since I was 40. It is perfectly fine.
I hear that all the time.
But a brain at 40 is not a brain at 70. That is where I get stuck. Like, if a little pink pill worked perfectly for decades, why would it suddenly cause memory loss or depth confusion now?
Right.
I mean, the pill itself has not changed one bit.
You are exactly right. The pill has not changed at all. But the beautiful, complex landscape of her body has changed entirely.
How so?
Well, think of the body as a very wise, very careful house. When we are young, the house has a tight mesh screen on every window.
Okay, like a window screen to keep bugs out.
Exactly. That screen is the barrier between the blood and the brain. It is there to keep the dust and the outside elements away, letting only the pure fresh air inside.
That makes sense.
And in our 30s and 40s, that mesh is tight and strong.
Hmm.
But as we live, as we journey into our 60s and 70s, that mesh naturally gets a little stretched out.
So the holes get bigger?
Yes. The tiny holes get slightly larger. Things that used to be blocked at the window, like certain strong chemicals in our daily pills, now easily slip right through the screen and into the brain.
Oh, wow. So the very first change is just that the brain is more open. It is more exposed to whatever is floating in the blood.
Yes, exactly. And the second change is how the house cleans itself.
The sweeping.
Right. When you are younger, your body clears things out quickly. You take a pill, it does its job, and your body sweeps the leftover chemicals out by morning.
You just process it and it is gone.
Exactly. But as we age, that inner sweeping slows down. Our organs take longer to process things. So the pill your mother takes at night does not just leave the next morning.
It stays.
It stays. It lingers in the blood. It slowly builds up in the body. And because she takes it every single day, she is never fully clear of it.
That is a scary thought.
It is. The chemicals are just resting there day after day in a brain that is far more sensitive to them than it used to be.
That paints such a clear picture. The pill is lingering in a place it was never meant to stay.
Exactly.
Which brings me to the core question. What exactly are these common pills doing when they sit in the brain tissue?
That is the key right there.
Because I know there is a group of very common medicines, things we take for allergies, or to stop a leaky bladder, or to calm stomach cramps. And they all seem to share one hidden trait.
Yes, they do.
They work by blocking signals.
Yes. They are signal blockers.
Yeah.
Let us think about why we take them in the first place.
Okay.
You have a leaky bladder, which is like a flickering streetlight in your town. It is annoying, it disrupts your day, and you just want the flickering to stop.
Right. You just want to fix the problem and move on.
Exactly. So you take a pill That pill works by cutting the power to that specific nerve. It blocks the signal, and the bladder calms down. The flickering light is fixed.
Which feels like a victory. I mean, the problem is solved.
It feels like a victory in the body. But remember that stretched mesh screen we talked about?
Right, the wider holes.
That same pill slips through the screen and enters the brain. And the brain runs on a very special, very vital energy.
What kind of energy?
It uses a specific memory messenger. It is a chemical that helps cells talk to each other, form thoughts, and, hold on to memories.
Okay.
That memory messenger is the electricity for the entire downtown grid of the brain. When that pill enters the brain, it does not know the difference between the bladder and the mind.
Oh, no.
It just does what it was built to do. It blocks the signal. It cuts the power.
Oh, wow. So in trying to fix the flickering streetlight down the road, you, by mistake, cut the power to the whole downtown grid.
That is exactly what happens.
You cause a massive traffic jam in the brain. The cells cannot talk to each other. The memories cannot find their way home.
That is the perfect way to see it. It causes a deep traffic jam, and when the brain cannot talk, it gets stressed.
Like it is struggling to work in the dark.
Yes, and this causes a slow, quiet fire in the brain. We call it inflammation.
The quiet fire.
Right. It's not the kind of fire you feel as pain. It is a slow, silent heat that just tires the brain out over time.
That sounds exhausting for the body.
It is. If the power is out for one night, the city gets back on its feet. But if you take that pill every single night for 5 years...
The city slowly starts to break down.
Exactly. The brain actually loses its volume. It shrinks. It physically slows down because it has been kept in the dark for so long.
That is deeply shocking to hear, especially when we talk about the sheer number of pills people take.
It is everywhere.
I look at the habits around me. People treat those sleep aids from the store like they are candy.
They really do.
If someone has a runny nose or they cannot sleep, they just run to the gas station and grab a box of those little pink allergy pills. They pop them without a second thought.
Because they think it's safe.
Right. Are we saying that a simple sleep aid from the corner store could be throwing a heavy blanket over an older brain?
We have to fully unlearn this idea that if you can buy it in a colorful box without a doctor, it is perfectly safe.
It is just so common, though.
I know. But those simple allergy pills, the ones people use to force themselves to sleep, are some of the strongest signal blockers on the shelf.
Wait, really? The strongest?
Yes. For a healthy young person, they clear out by morning. But for a senior, taking those pills night after night is like pouring thick mud into the gears of a beautiful watch.
That is such a heavy image.
It creates a heavy, dark fog. And, it is not just the sleep aids.
What else is doing this?
It is the muscle calmers people take for a stiff lower back. It is the old pills for nerve pain. It is the strong stomach acid blockers.
It is like a whole hidden web.
Exactly. A whole hidden web of daily habits that we lean on just to get through the day.
I think about my neighbor. He is in his late 70s, and he used to sit on his porch every single morning and do the Sunday crossword puzzle in pen.
In pen. That takes confidence.
Right. He was so sharp, so witty. And then he had a bad fall, hurt his back, and had some trouble sleeping.
Let me guess what happened next.
Yeah. A few months later, the crossword puzzle was just sitting there, totally blank. He stopped talking as much. He just sat staring at the yard.
That breaks my heart.
His children were heartbroken too, whispering that he was fading away, that age was finally catching up to him.
People always blame the age.
They do, but now I am wondering, was it the age? Or was it the muscle pill and the nerve pills he started taking for his back?
That story, I promise you, is playing out in millions of living rooms right now.
It is so sad.
It really is. People are giving up the things they love because their mind feels like it is walking through deep water. And the deepest tragedy is the silence of it all.
What do you mean the silence?
Well, they feel themselves losing their grip on their words, and they feel deeply ashamed. They do not want to burden their children.
Oh, I see.
They do not want to be seen as weak or failing. So they pull away, they stop going to family dinners, they sit in silence.
And the family just accepts it as the sad reality of getting older.
Exactly. But in so many cases, it is just the layered weight of too many signal blockers. Once you gently lift that heavy blanket of mixed medicines, you often see the person slowly wake back up.
That brings up a really hard question. If this is so common, like if these pills are slowly turning down the lights in the mind, why doesn't the doctor stop it?
That is a very fair question.
We trust the white coat. We think, well, if the doctor wrote it on a pad, they must know it is perfectly safe for my brain.
It is so natural to believe that. We want to trust them. But we have to remember that doctors are often trying to put out the loudest fire.
Like the immediate pain.
Right. If you go into a clinic and say you cannot sleep and your back is in deep pain, the doctor wants to ease your suffering in that moment. They want to give you comfort.
Which makes sense. They want to help.
They do. They write the slip. But years pass. The body changes. You see a different doctor for your stomach and another one for your bladder.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Soon, you have 5 different bottles from 3 different clinics. None of the doctors are looking at the whole heavy pile of pills together.
They are just looking at their one single piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. It is up to us and the people who love us to look at the whole picture.
Okay, so if someone listening right now is having a sudden realization, if they are looking at their own bathroom shelf or thinking about their aging parent, the gut reaction is going to be panic.
Yes, the panic is real.
The instinct is to run to the cabinet, grab all the bottles, and throw them straight in the trash. Just stop taking everything today to clear the fog.
And that is the absolute most dangerous thing you could possibly do.
Really?
Please hear this clearly. Never, ever stop taking your daily medicine all at once. Your body has built its whole rhythm around those chemicals.
So it expects them to be there.
Yes. If you just pull them away, the body goes into deep shock, especially the strong pills for nerves, sleep, or mood.
That makes sense. The body would panic.
Dropping them fast can cause terrible harm. The brain needs gentleness. It needs a very slow, guided walk back to clear ground.
So if throwing them away is dangerous, what is the right way to take control? How do we speak up for ourselves or our parents without stepping out of bounds?
It starts with a simple, quiet act of gathering. We call it the brown bag review.
The brown bag review. I like the sound of that.
It is very simple. You take a literal brown paper bag and you walk through your home. You put every single pill bottle inside. Everything. The ones from the clinic, the allergy pills from the store, the vitamins, the sleep aids, the herbal drops, put them all in one bag.
Okay.
Then you sit down with a trusted pharmacist. Pharmacists are brilliant guides for this.
Yeah.
You put the bag on the counter and you ask a very simple question.
What do you ask?
You say, can you look at all of these together? Are any of these blocking my memory signals? Are there any safer, lighter choices for someone my age?
That feels so powerful. It is not fighting the system. It is just asking for a safety check on the whole machine.
Exactly. It is taking ownership.
Are there lighter choices? I love that phrasing. Because the goal is not to suffer through back pain or a leaky ladder. The goal is to find a path that honors the body without hurting the mind.
That is beautifully said. And often, there are much lighter choices. Sometimes switching to a slightly different class of pill lifts the fog in just a few weeks.
That is amazing.
And sometimes the answer is not a pill at all. If the problem is sleep, maybe the answer is not a heavy nerve blocker.
Right, because we know what those do now.
Maybe the answer is learning how to calm the body's stress response before bed. Maybe it is changing the light in the room or finding peace through talk therapy.
Finding the root cause instead of just blocking the signal.
Exactly. We have to start trusting the body's power to heal rather than just forcing it to shut down with a heavy chemical.
The brain healing itself, that brings me to something really beautiful. If we reduce the heavy chemicals, we create space for the brain to breathe.
Yes, we give it room.
But we also have to actively feed it. We cannot just take the bad things away. We have to add the good things back in. I want to talk about how we actually rebuild that memory messenger we spent so long blocking.
That is the most hopeful part of this whole journey. The brain is not a static rock. It is a living, breathing garden.
And you can water it.
You can tend to it.
Yeah.
Let us start with the most basic form of healing, which is sleep.
Real sleep, right?
Real natural sleep. Not the fake heavy sleep you get from a pink pill, but the deep, natural rhythm of the night.
What happens when we get real sleep?
When we fall into deep sleep, the brain does something amazing. It actually shrinks just a tiny bit, and it opens up these hidden channels.
Like little rivers.
Yes. Fluid rushes through the brain, washing away all the waste and the broken proteins from the day. It is a literal wash cycle.
A wash cycle for the mind.
Exactly. If you block natural sleep, the trash just builds up.
So natural sleep is the nightly deep clean. And what about when we wake up? How do we feed the brain the exact fuel it needs to build those memory signals?
You give it real whole food. To build that vital memory messenger, the body needs specific building blocks.
Like what?
Think about the simple egg. The yolk of an egg is packed with the nutrient that the brain directly uses to create those memory signals.
Wait, really? Just an egg?
Just an egg. It is like handing the brain the exact bricks it needs to rebuild the downtown grid.
That is incredible.
And you look at the deep, dark colors in nature. Blueberries, blackberries.
Oh, I love those.
They are so good for you. Those dark colors hold compounds that cross right through a brain's mesh screen and cool down that quiet fire.
They calm the inflammation.
They do. They lower the heat. They soothe the tired cells.
It is amazing how the answers are often just sitting in the kitchen. Eggs for the memory signals, dark berries to cool the fire, rich fish to grease the gears.
Nature provides what we need.
And I know there is one thing that gets fully ignored, but it causes so much fake brain fog. Water.
Oh, water. Yes.
Oh, just plain water.
It is the silent thief of mental clarity. As we get older, our body's alarm bell for thirst gets very quiet. We simply stop feeling thirsty.
So people just do not drink enough.
Right. But the brain is mostly water. It needs to be bathed in it to send signals quickly. When a senior gets even slightly dry, the brain actually pulls back.
Like a sponge drying out.
Yes. The thoughts get sticky. They get confused, tired, and cranky.
I have seen that happen.
So many times, a family thinks their parent is having a deep mental decline. But in reality, that parent just has not had a proper glass of water in 2 days.
That is wild.
A tall glass of water can sometimes clear the fog faster than anything else.
Drink a glass of water, eat a real meal, and get some fresh air. It sounds too simple, but it is deeply profound.
It is the foundation of health.
I think about movement, too. Just walking, getting the blood pumping. When we move our legs, we send fresh blood and oxygen rushing up to the brain.
These are like pouring fertilizer on the roots of a plant. New connections grow.
And we must not forget the power of another human voice.
Oh, connection is everything.
Staying connected to people. When we sit alone in a silent room day after day, the brain has no reason to work hard. It goes to sleep.
It really does. It just shuts down.
But when you sit with a friend, when you tell a story, when you laugh at a joke, your brain is lighting up like a beautiful fireworks display.
That is a wonderful way to picture it.
Words are being searched for, memories are being pulled up, emotions are being processed. Social connection is one of the strongest medicines we will ever know.
It truly is.
I am looking at all of this together, and it shifts my entire view of what it means to grow older.
How so?
Well, for so long, the story we are told is that aging is a tragic, unavoidable slide into the dark. We are told to expect the fog. We are told to accept the fading. But what if we have been getting it all wrong?
We have been accepting a very limiting story.
Yes, if a huge portion of this memory loss, this quiet fading, is actually just the unintended side effect of our own medicine cabinets, then aging itself is not the enemy.
Not at all.
What if the baseline for human aging is actually far sharper, far clearer, and far more vibrant than we have ever been led to believe?
I believe it is.
What if, when we stop blocking the signals and start feeding the brain what it actually craves, we can keep our beautiful minds bright all the way to the end?
That is the truth we need to hold on to. We are not just passengers sitting quietly as the fog rolls in. We have choices.
We really do.
We can ask questions. We can walk into the pharmacy with our brown bag. We can choose the deep colors at the market.
We can drink the water.
We can drink the water.
Yeah.
And we can choose to step out into the morning light and walk. We can take the heavy blanket off the brain and let it breathe again.
I want everyone listening to just take a moment today. Look in the cabinet. Do not throw anything away, but just look. Ask the questions. Start the conversation with your parent or with yourself, because the mind is too precious to just let it slip away under the weight of a pill.
These thoughts, these questions, they don't have to stop here. Wellness Geek Seniors has many more podcasts and videos just like this one. Subscribe to the channel and explore other episodes. They all flow the same gentle way. If this podcast felt genuinely useful to you, you share it with even one person in your life. That one share can bring a real change in someone's life. And it helps Wellness Geek Seniors reach more people who truly need this. If this brought you real value, look for the join button right next to the Wellness Geek Seniors logo below this video. Click it and become a member of the Wellness Support Circle. Your support helps honest health awareness reach thousands who are silently struggling. Wellness Geek Seniors moves forward because of you. Thank you so much from the heart for being here.